me about 15 minutes to get that trophy positioned so you could see it, but I got it.
To the June 6th, 2022 meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing our national anthem, and repeating the four-way test.
Not sure we can hear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're hearing that. Huh.
Let us repeat the four-way test. Of the things we say and do, is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Our invocation today is by Lee Magnuson.
Let us pray. Dear Lord our God, we give you thanks for this beautiful day and the opportunity to eat and fellowship with a wonderful gathering of friends. We ask, Lord, your mercy and your love be upon us all in this country as we struggle with the damage and the death with all of the shootings. We ask, O Lord, your blessing on us that we might be a part of the solution and that we will depart from this kind of behavior. We ask it in your Son's name. Amen.
So a few announcements today. Our Rotary Years Recorder is Sue Jones. And as always, we thank that committee for all the work they do to keep us informed. So June 20th, we are scheduled to have a meeting here. However, it was recently brought to my attention that that is the observance day for the Juneteenth celebration. That's supposed to be our club assembly, where we were going to vote on new bylaws and cover the budget and a few other things. So I'm kind of torn as to whether or not we stick with the club's tradition of continuing to have that meeting, or I'm sorry, of not having a meeting on a federal holiday, or if we should continue with the meeting because of its importance. So just ask that by the end of the week, if you feel strongly one way or another, email me or another board member, let us know what you think, and then we will make a decision over the weekend. Michelle. Yep. Well, Michelle's coming up. July 9th, mark your calendars. This is a joint sponsored event between our club, Jamestown AM, and Falconer Rotary. We have bought out the Tarp Skunks Stadium, and so we will be distributing tickets. We will need volunteers that night to work a booth and discuss, what Rotary is, share information with the community, and then just generally be present. If you have questions, if you'd like to help me as a volunteer, please let me know.
So I did send out an email. We are having the presidential dinner June 27th at Moonbrook Country Club. Got a great meal planned. It'll be a very nice event. We want to celebrate Kevin's presidency, so we look forward to seeing you all there. I do want to say that if you're planning on doing any golf or the golf, I've only had one person give me feedback. I'm going to need more before, to set something up. So if you are interested, let me know as soon as possible. If not, it's fine. We were just trying to see if it's something we could work in for our membership here. So, and thanks to Chris, the online application is ready to go. You can sign and pay right online. So otherwise, you can come to Monday meetings and we'll have a sign-in sheet there. Send me an email, whatever you need to do. Thanks.
On the topic of golf and also at Moonbrook, the end of August, we will be having our annual golf tournament. The sign-up sheets to sponsor or play are out, and I'm going to challenge the members to help me out. We've been pretty consistent, around $6,000 to $8,000 raised every year. Our $100 sponsorships are a pure benefit to our fundraising. So I'd like to challenge the club to find 20 additional new sponsors so that we can, put another $2,000 in the kitty for projects and programs. And Max Miller. While Max is coming up, Literacy Committee still needs volunteer readers for the Wish Tree Project. Please sign up online. If you're having trouble signing up online, get a hold of Diana Meckley. She'll get you a spot.
All right, so I have been tasked with helping Pat Smeraldo get some interest for his Christmas in July event. If you don't know Pat, he runs Children's Collaborative Solutions, focused on programming for the city and bringing enrichment to the youth in our area. So on Saturday, July 23rd, he'll be hosting a number of events, with it culminating behind the Comedy Center. He wants to do a Christmas in July Christmas Village with a parade, where different organizations in the area will set up a stand or a float and people can walk the path and interact with the people at the stands. Priority one, he's looking for our help to get people down there to set up stands. Two, we'll be looking to get a float going, which I'll spear that. And then three, if needed, which he does not think they will be needed, volunteers to help set up for the Christmas Village. So I'll send out more information and emails regarding that. If you're interested, let me know.
Thanks, Max. And now Ruth with our visiting Rotarians and guests.
All right, for visiting Rotarians and guests today, we have Jean West, who is still visiting. Hopefully, next week we'll make it official. Rudy Andalora, who's on our Zoom, and Hadley Weinberg. Hey,
Thank you. Any other announcements before I close? Yes.
Folks on Zoom. So most of you know that this is the Jamestown local team, and that the Rotary Club has taken a hand in helping out with some of the projects and signs and whatnot. So these are lawn signs. It would be really great if each of you would take a lawn sign and stick it in your front yard when you leave here today. I've got little stands for them, but I'll be at the door when you leave. We're 3-0 for the opening section of the season, and tonight is $2 night. If you know anybody that wants to go to the game tonight, it's 6:30 at Dietrich Park. $2 to get in, $2 beer, and $2 hot dog. So it's a really good deal. Anyway, thank you.
Well, with that, I think we're ready for birthday table. So let's give a warm welcome to Sue Jones to help us celebrate the June birthdays.
Rotary gave a birthday party and nobody showed up. June birthdays. And for those of you who are not completely familiar with our club, we have a long-standing tradition that in the month of your birthday, you donate $1 for every year of your age to the foundation, or you can belong to the Paul Harris Sustaining Club, which is a pledge by you that you will donate $100 on your birthday and accumulate them over 10 years, or if you want to give 100 occasionally at other times during the year, all of that money will go towards your Paul Harris Fellow Award. And with that said, I'm so excited about seeing Rich here today that I'm going to be quick. So our first birthday celebrant is Kurt Johnson, whose birthday is the 7th, which is tomorrow. He is the president of Shawbucks Incorporated, and he attended the School of Hard Knocks. He is busy working, and trying to make up for everything that was put aside during COVID. I don't know if you know this, but his former bartendress married Gary Painter in Las Vegas just recently. They also opened up their own bar called Ginger's in the former College Inn down by JCC. Just a little tidbit for you. Our second birthday honoree is honorary member Lucy Miller. Her birthday also is June 7th. She was our Rotary pianist and volunteer musician extraordinaire, and she already has 2 Paul Harris Fellow Awards. Let's see, our next one is Mike Bird, whose birthday is June 17th. He is the publisher of the Post Journal, and that's it. He didn't put down where he went to school, so I'm not going to tell you. Deborah Morlock, her birthday is June 26th. She is the owner of Home Organizing Solutions. Has anybody used this? Does anybody know anything about this? Oh, Tori says she doesn't need it. Well, anyway, it would be nice sometime to have her do a program and tell us what it's all about. She was sponsored by Steve Sandberg, and she also did not tell us where she went to school. And last but not least is Noah Goodling, whose birthday is June 29th. And he is the project director of the Capacity Lab. He attended Allegheny College, and he's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. And because no one's here, we're not going to sing to them, because we were going to sing to the June bugs. And no one's going to get a free lunch because you have to be here to get it. So thank you all very much. And I hope more people show up for July.
Well, Dave Troxel, it's your turn again. It's time for 50-50 drawing. $54 for the lucky ticket.
All right, the winning number is 376.
141. Paulette Klein, congratulations.
Okay, good day, good day. Hey, yes, yes. Feel free to add to it as long as you're carrying it. Well, thank you. And I'm going to put money into it because as I left the car, I grabbed my sheet of paper with all my notes on it. And well, that didn't turn out to be the sheet on top of the pile. So the notes here are not going to help. And the ones for you are in the car. But we can catch up with that next week. So there's not a lot that I can talk about. However, our president has asked that I kind of quiz people on Rotary facts and whatever. So, Sally, what's on the cover of this June's Rotary magazine? It's a photo. Hadley's helping you because of the photo contest. And that photo was of two people. And you remember where? Nepal. So I don't know if that's close enough to count or not. Do you think it's close enough to count? Okay, thank you. And Greg, you're always up on that stuff. There are photos back in, there's a good number of photos in this month's magazine. It's just fantastic photography. And there's a bunch of kids silhouettes on fences and lines with something in the background. Do you remember that photo? Or does anyone at your table remember that photo? It's a photo of kids at sunset, and they are darkly silhouetted against a brilliant orange sunset. And one of the reasons they awarded this is because the stark contrast in colors and the utility poles nearby. And so there's your hint. Now, where was that photo taken? And don't say from a camera. It could have been, but it wasn't. Yes, that is true. Philippines. That's close. Okay, so your table doesn't know that, so help us with it. But and lastly, I think we're looking for happy bucks. I know Hadley's anxious to do some, and so are some other people, I hope. Thank you.
Wow, everybody's happy this week. On Monday night, tonight, we have an event at the Lucille Ball Little Theater to announce their programming for the year. It's a celebration from 6 to 7 o'clock. I'm gonna love to see anybody that wants to find out what's going on in the city and hear about live theater again. It's super exciting and it's a great community event to support. So come on down. There's no cost. Just come down and see what's going on in the city. Thanks.
So here's a catch up. First, for spring break, I missed 5 meetings while Deacon and I were away. That's 5. Then 5 for, you all know Deacon and I raised 4 boys. That began to have 4 daughter-in-laws. That equaled 10 grandchildren. So we're gone a lot. So I imagine I may be hitting this more. Then there's 5 because our son Jacob is now chair of the political science department at UB. And then there's 5 because Jake has been coaching a group of boys since they were 8 or 7 in soccer. And they are now 12 and they're going to regionals. So that's my money.
My happy buck today is for my granddaughter Annika again, who was awarded the Steinman Ney Scholarship Award and was also Student of the Year. So we're very proud of her.
My dollar will be quick is for our speaker today. You know, that guy, I've known him a long time. He has done so much for this county. I thank you, Rich, for everything.
One for our granddaughter, graduated from Niceville High School, summa cum laude, on her way to University of North Florida, swimming scholarship. And I'll throw the rest in. 78 years ago today, 160,000 people gathered named the shores of England. 4,000 boats. They went across. They changed the world. 5,000, or I guess about 5,000 wounded, 2,500 dead. But because of them, we're able to do what we do. So happy D-Day.
Thank you, Vince. So Horrigan just informed me that Lou Meckley informed him that there will be no more lawyer jokes in the Edborg household. And that's because on May 20th, my daughter graduated Pepperdine Law School out in Malibu. So we were really excited to be there and share that with her. And Phil Callow's not here, but his daughter's also a graduate of Pepperdine Law. So anyway, thank you.
1966, I was in a chicken coop on Chautauqua Lake, and I got down on my knees and I asked my girlfriend to marry me. She said yes. It's a happy buck.
On my way in today, I had a feeling I might get called for the newspaper tax, and but I only had my card, so Debbie spotted me $1. So that's my happy buck, and I'll start my tab next week. Thanks.
I have $5 for my little brother Sam, who got second at sectionals this weekend, qualified for states and track, and decided not to go on his class trip. So, but further solidifying himself as my parents' favorite child.
Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful to win the 50-50. I'm sharing half. And also, I wanted to say that I got to read to the pre-K this morning at Bush Elementary. They are a joy. We're so blessed to have these beautiful children in our community. So we need to do whatever we can, and we do, to make their life the best it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Sally gave me $5 to put in for her. She's reading Cast. If you want to be a little scared about how the world has worked and continues to work, read that book. My happy dollars, I'll put in, let's see, I got a 20 in here, so I'll give you 10. My daughter is 32 weeks pregnant and due at the end of July. And so we're going to have the first grandchild. So very excited there. My son is engaged. We don't know when the wedding is, but his fiance is from Cleveland. So somewhere between Cleveland and here will be a wedding, we suspect, next summer. I'm here on and off through the summer until that baby is born. So you guys will be stuck with me a little bit as a visitor. So thank you. And my buddy Rich, I came all the way from Boston to hear you today. Not really.
I forgot. For those of you who remember and know Bill Larson, he and Carol this week celebrated their 73rd wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
So now it's my pleasure to bring up Kirk Young to introduce our guest speaker.
Thanks, Kevin. Just a quick thought. And as I sat there listening to all of that, it reminded me, I came here 8 years ago to work at the college. I oversee enrollment management, a responsibility to get students in the door. It's been just a tough job. It's been really hard. And these Rotary meetings are the highlight of my week. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but there are many times at work where things are just tough and the world's tough. And I come here and I leave here so full of hope and excitement and happiness. And so just thank you to all of you. That was inspirational. Right there. So my family's in town. My mom's here. I haven't seen my parents for 3 years, and she's here. And she's at home. I said, I got to go to Rotary. Rich Dixon's speaking, and I got to get there. So she's hanging out at home. All right, so let me introduce Rich Dixon. Which does he need an introduction? Apparently not. CFO of the IDA. One thing he did ask that I do mention, he's most proud of his wife and 2 kids. He is a graduate of JHS, JCC, Fredonia, a homegrown member of our community. He did want to make sure that I mentioned that his kids received a very, very wonderful education through the Jamestown Public School System. He said, you got to make sure you mention that. One of his daughters, Sarah, is in residency, medical doctor at Vanderbilt. And his other daughter, Emily, is in New York City working for Mack Weldon. And she attended FIT, another product of the SUNY system. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rich. And please help me welcome our speaker today.
Okay, I'll use this. All right. A lot of familiar faces here. Thank you for having me. I don't know where the jug bet, but I wanted to do a happy buck. Some of your members continue to amaze me. There's someone on the screen I know very well who didn't move his lips, but I could hear his voice, and that's Mike Moots. He's a great singer. So this $5 is for Mike Moots. All right. So I will be brief. I'm known for that at my board meetings and everywhere else, but we'll talk a little bit today about the IDA. So the Industrial Development Agency is a public authority, much like the Thruway Authority or the Port Authority. It was a creature of New York State. It was created by New York State. This is the 50th anniversary of the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency. I've been there for a third of them, the last third. We also have a 501c. It's called a Local Development Corporation, Chautauqua Region Economic Development Corporation. And we have another entity called the Capital Resource Corporation that issues tax exempt bonds. So our budget normally at the IDA is around $2.5 million. Last year, we had a revenue of $8 million. By statute, there's three things that the IDA can do. We can abate taxes. So that's the power that New York State gives the IDA. So I'm going to give you an example. A year and a half ago, a company came to us from Atlanta, Georgia. They wanted to build a freezer here, Pittsburgh, or Cleveland. They said, what can you do for us? So the freezer was $43 million, freezer, up in the town of Dunkirk. We said, we can help you with the property taxes. We can help you with sales tax. We can help you with mortgage recording tax. So we then entered in negotiations, and they finally picked the site in the town of Dunkirk. So that facility will be paying a pilot on that. So if it wasn't built, the taxing jurisdictions would have got nothing. So we give them a break on their property taxes for 10 years. And then year 11, they're back on the tax roll. They pay full tax. So building a $43 million freezer is a pretty good idea. And they bought enough land to build another one. So we're hoping they come. So that's a typical IDA project. Untypical IDA project is this hotel right here. When they renovated and did the renovations here, Sam Teresi came to us and said, can you help them? We said, yes, we would. So all of the additions on this hotel were separated from the original assessment, put on a dummy parcel, and we did a pilot on the additions here. So this is another one of our projects. So the IDA has 30 of those around the county right now ongoing, from the immunity bio plant in Dunkirk that was built by the state, this facility, SKF. We have them all over the county, all over the county. We did 5 new ones last year, and all of those pilots paid $2 million in taxes or in pilot payments to the taxing jurisdictions that had they not been built, they wouldn't have got. So, you know, it's often a game of Russian roulette. Are they going to do it if we help them? Are they not going to do it if we help them? You know, so we do our analysis. We do the best we can. And some people we say no to, some people we say yes to, but it's worked out pretty well. March of 2020, I got a call from the Economic Development Administration in Philadelphia. They wanted to know if we could spend $10 million in our loan fund from the CARES Act. We told them we could. They told us to help anyone and everyone in Chautauqua County, for profit, not for profit, religious, it didn't matter. Anybody that had been negatively impacted by COVID. And in 2 years, we have committed all of those funds. The interest rate is 2.44%. And I'm proud to say that every one of those loans that we've made so far is performing and paying us back. So Vince is well aware of the All Tech Fund that we had. We had $10 million in that fund from the EDA. So Chautauqua County is blessed to now have $20 million in a revolving loan fund to help the businesses in the county. So we have 100 loans outstanding right now. We refer a lot of our customers to the Small Business Development Center. Courtney's here today. They do a fabulous job for us. We work closely with the city of Dunkirk and the city of Jamestown. And, you know, our current projects, a lot of manufacturers are not building new buildings. That comes as no surprise. They can't find employees to fit in the existing buildings they have, but they are automating. The pace of automation is staggering in the county. SKF, Cummins, every place, buying machines that maybe 10 years ago they wouldn't have bought. They would have tried to hire people, but they are investing in automation. And we will hope that pays off in the long run. The big projects that we're dealing with now is alternative energy. Very controversial. To tell this group that either you like them or you don't like them, you love them or you hate them. But we have over 20 projects. 19 of those are community solar projects, allowing 5 megawatt. They cost around $6-7 million a piece to build one of those. But the largest solar project we're dealing with right now is in the town of Ripley. It's 270 megawatts. It's a $384 million project. And in all of these solar projects, we do not do them unless the town tells us we want them. So solar projects won't be in a city, very unlikely to be in a village. So they will be in a remote section of the town. So we help out if the town wants us to. Now, the beneficiaries on the solar projects, besides the electric, which some people say is expensive and it's going to cost the businesses more. Other people say we need to do it to save the environment. We all have our opinions on that. But as far as the economics go, the landowners make out very well on these deals. They either sell their property or they sign up for a 25-year lease. So that ensures payments. If you have really good agricultural land, you're probably better off to keep farming it, especially if you have grapes. Like the Ripley project is up to the top of the escarpment. A lot of the ground is fallow. So that makes perfect sense to do a project there. And the landowners all signed up willingly. There are over 50 of them. And the taxing jurisdictions, which will receive the payments from these. The town of Ripley will receive more money in revenue from the solar farm than their entire tax levy was. So if they chose to, they could probably eliminate the town tax, but I'm sure they've got plans to build a new center, put a fire hall in, aging center, do whatever. But you know, that's the kind of money we're talking about for the taxing jurisdictions. We're also investing in real estate. The county has taken some of the ARPA money and they're giving it to the Industrial Development Agency as a grant to purchase land in the North County and to do some improvements in the South County. We have about 35 developable acres in Mason Park. We have about 30 developable acres in Chadwick Bay, and then that's about it. And, you know, you all see what happens in Grand Island when the big warehouse comes in. Amazon wants 150 acres for a warehouse. They get thrown out, they get chased away. So, you know, we do need larger pieces of property for some of these bigger projects. But again, it will be up to the town if they decide they want it, because we will not jam anything down the town's throat. So I think that's about all I have to say, unless anybody has any questions. Yes, sir. So a 2 megawatt windmill will supply enough electricity for 30,000 houses. So you can do the math there. So 5 megawatts is a lot of juice. 5 megawatts. Right. To the best of my knowledge, it was purchased by Target, but other than the CARES Act money, we don't really get involved in a lot of retail or commercial unless the town would come to us and ask us for help. But to the best of my knowledge, Target still has control of that, but I have not heard that they don't. My wife's hoping they do. Yes.
Microphone, thank you. The power to grant pilot permission to incoming business is very good. Do you do any coaching or hinting about how people should decide what their payments really should be in lieu of taxes?
Well, we have on our website what's called a uniform tax exempt policy that that we had sent years ago to all 60 or 59 now taxing jurisdictions in Chautauqua County. We have 59 different taxing jurisdictions. So when we revised that uniform tax exempt policy, we sent it out to them. And they got to comment on it, and then we adopted it. So we have some standard ones. Our standard basic pilot it's a 10-year pilot. So the first 2 years you would pay 10% of what you should pay. And the next two is 20, 40. So you get to years 9 and 10, it's 50. And then year 11, you're on the tax roll at 100%. So we do deviate from that. So, yes, sir.
What would sing for?
The whisper, be quiet.
What would you say would be the value to our community because this organization is here and this organization operates in property and property tax and in payroll and payroll tax and the spending of the payroll that is spent locally and all of that? What do you think the total value of that is that we get because of that program? And if it was not for that program, that money would not be floating in Chautauqua County.
Yeah, I left on the table some brochures that talk about the return on investment and things for the past, but it's a dicey thing. We have some software at work where we put in a project, we put in how much it costs, how much is local labor, how many jobs will they create, what's the salary range for the job, and then it spits out a magic number at the end. I'm not sure where it comes from, and it tells you that. But you know, there was a famous Supreme Court justice that said he'd know it when he saw it. And that's kind of like what economic development is. I mean, you know it when you see it. And particularly, you know, it used to be, we really tried to help people that are going to create 400 jobs. Well, for the business owners in this room, would you like to have a new business come to Chautauqua County and steal 400 of your employees right now when you can't find your own? So, you know, it's a very interesting dichotomy we have now with people that can't fill their current jobs, yet we want to create jobs. So the return is different, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, Russ. And my major area is manufacturing, and manufacturing has the highest multiplier for investment. I mean, Mark will tell you how many factories he visits selling copiers and, you know, the advertising that goes in, but the multiplier effect is very large in manufacturing. The suppliers, Cummins, for example, has 1 million square feet that they own. They control over 1.75 million square feet in the community. Just with suppliers and warehousing and Regal Services and the old Quality Warehouse and things like that. So manufacturing really creates a lot of jobs. So sorry, I don't have a number for you there, Russ. Anything else?
I actually heard you over the radio. You were part of a discussion group about solar projects
Yes.
and that, and it was very interesting. So that was my question, and then you answered it.
Okay.
So I have to come up with another one.
All
And
right.
I have. So the freezer company, when they make their payments, do they do that in cold, hard cash?
The check is so cold, it doesn't bounce. So that's all we care about. But, no.
I got to fill up a couple more minutes so that, you know, at any rate, I just have to acknowledge as a former county executive, the work that is underway by the IDA. Their team is often handicapped by confidentiality agreements. So there is stuff going on all the time that they cannot talk about. And that gets pretty frustrating because people don't always understand the pilots. They think that people are getting away tax-free and all that. And to be able to explain it and what's coming and the job opportunities, and it doesn't always hit. It's a gamble, but they measure the risk and they really do a fabulous job. And I'm excited lately, the Post-Journal has actually been very kind to you, to the IDA, and understanding what they're doing. I have to recall the time when Phoenix was coming and we didn't even know. Even the county executive didn't know. I guessed it was a marijuana plant that was coming. Remember that? Project Little Apple.
Little Apple.
Yeah, and sure enough, eventually it pans out, and thanks to incredible project manager working not only with them, but working with retaining businesses. They work all the time, but they can't really brag about it because it's a lot of confidentiality. So I'm biased, obviously, but I have to say hats off to the IDA and their team. And Rich can talk numbers like you can't believe. He can do second in line, third in line, this, that. They can find financing from the state, from the feds, and they do a great job. So I had
Thank you,
to say
Vince.
that.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I thank you and have a great day. Oh, Doug. I knew I couldn't get away. Doug. what do you-
Were you a member, I would have noted on today's radio station about an award you received. And I think if people don't understand it, he is the recipient of a statewide economic development award of great prestige. And thank you, Rich, for your service.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you. Thank you.
You would think after 40 some meetings I'd have this memorized, but bear with me. Rich, thank you. One of Rotary's major international programs is the eradication of polio throughout the world. We are down to just 2 countries where polio exists. And in honor and thanks to your presentation to our club today, we will make a donation that will vaccinate 4 children. Remembering this year's Rotary International theme, serve to change lives. Caring for and serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but our own. Thank you, and we are adjourned.